Good morning and welcome to our Pittsburgh Water regular board meeting for September 26th, 2025. Our first agenda item for our meeting today is roll call.
Mr. Schuley, Ms. Strasburger,
Here.
Ms. Leber,
Here.
Mr. Domock, Ms. McCormick-Barron, Mr. Bay.
Here.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you very much. Our next agenda item is public comment. Do we have anyone here for public comment? Seeing none, we'll move on to our next agenda item, approval of the meeting minutes from August 22nd. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Discussion? I will abstain since I was absent from the meeting. All those in favor of approval of the meeting minutes, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Abstain. Meeting minutes are approved. Our next agenda item is confirmation of the CEO approvals, which we did receive and did approve. Next agenda item is reports and updates, and our first report and update is from our finance department.
Good morning.
Good
Happy
morning.
Friday. Report here. All right, so included in your board packet is the finance report as of August 31st, 2025. Within the report, you'll see total receipts at the end of August totaled $155.8 million, which represents about 64.9% of the budget for the year. In August specifically, you'll see that Pittsburgh Water collected about $21 million, which is roughly $38,000 less than the monthly budget for August. So essentially, we're right on par for the month. Year-end receipts are projected to be $245.2 million, which is about $5.2 million or 2.2% above the budget. And I will point out that difference or increase is really driven by higher than expected receipts for our wastewater revenues. And also, too, we've collected about, or we've actually generated about $1 million in interest income this year as well. We expect that to continue even with the Fed's action to lower rates. We still expect to get some type of interest on our cash. Departmental operating expenditures through August 31st of 2025 totaled $80.4 million. That makes up about 60% of the budget for the year. And our capital expenditures through that same period totaled $102.7 million. And our year-end capital expenditure projection is $251.3 million. Last year, we did north of $200 million, so we're projecting to do even better this year on our capital expenditures on our capital program. $82.9 million in debt service costs have been paid through August 31st of 2025. That represents roughly 93% of the budget for the year. And forecasted year-end debt service is projected to be $88.8 million, or about $4.9 million lower than the adopted budget. It was a short report, but that concludes my report for today. I'll turn it back over for any questions. Thank you.
Any questions from the board?
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll now move on to our engineering department report.
All right. Good morning, members of the board. As far as control for the clicker, okay, very good. Sorry about that. All right. So this month, I'd like to begin by highlighting the engineering and construction department's surface restoration program. There we go. These contracts include the restoration of streets, sidewalks, and other property as required due to work performed by Pittsburgh Water's water departments, where work is performed primarily on our water systems. Operations work includes limited to the water mains, valves, and surface connections, as well as hydrants. This is an annual program which has 2 contracts per year since 2021. Funding for the program comes from Pittsburgh Water's operating budget. All right, so shown are some examples of work areas requiring surface restoration under this program. The scope and nature of these sites vary and may include base repairs, milling and paving, brick street restoration, and sidewalk and driveway reconstruction. Oops, how do I go back? I'm having fun with this. This slide display the GIS map utilized for planning and managing our surface restoration contract work. Each dot represents a site at a different stage of completion, with yellow dots indicating locations currently in the planned phase. As of July 25th, 2025, there are 622 sites in the plan status. The program is designed to be dynamic, allowing for seamless updates as new sites are added daily in response to the ongoing work by Pittsburgh Water Operations. Our consultants, Hatch, is responsible for maintaining all GIS data inputs to ensure the information remains current and accurate. This table provides a high-level summary of the surface restoration program, including budget allocations, approved change orders, final costs, where applicable, and the number of sites tracked at various milestones throughout the contract period. For the 2025 contract, work commenced on April 1st with an initial total of 1,200 sites. Based on the current budget and all change orders, we project that 747 sites will be completed this year. This example illustrates how construction management, CM, estimating is used to calculate the total projected cost of a site based on its scope. All site-specific information is entered into the GIS system by the estimator, and total costs are calculated. Hatch utilizes this data to estimate restoration costs and to determine the number of wards that can be addressed within a given restoration season. To the extent possible to optimize costs, we assign work to one of our two contractors based on the specific work being performed and the respective contractor's unit pricing. So a data-driven analysis, which we call our heat map, is developed to support decision-making regarding the assignment of awards to the restoration contractors. This heat map has been, I'm guessing did I skip one too many? Oh, that slide's on. This heat map has been redefined to optimize the use of available data and optimize spending. Key factors considered in its creation include the average age of the planned sites, the percentage of sites located within environmental justice areas, the distribution of sites across primary, secondary, and tertiary roads, and the number of sites intersecting with bus routes. The data is updated weekly to reflect the most current information available in the GIS system. Quantities shown in red represent older sites and a higher number of each criteria, while quantities in green represent the newer sites with a lower number of each criteria. This example resulted in the issuance of Ward 15, which includes the Hazelwood and Greenfield neighborhoods due to the age and the percentage of environmental justice areas within this ward. Coordination efforts are conducted with the other active infrastructure projects within the city of Pittsburgh, such as the lead service line replacement program and small diameter water main replacement program. This slide highlights an example where such coordination resulted in a significant cost savings for Pittsburgh Water. In 2025, through strategic alignments with overlapping projects, efficiencies were achieved at 26 such sites. For example, the surface restoration contract may have addressed base repairs while another contract completed the final mill and pave. Based on Hatch's estimates, the projected cost for this work was $298,000, while the incurred under the surface restoration contract was only $59,000, resulting in an approximate $240,000 of savings. In 2025, Pittsburgh Water implemented a new initiative involving a cost-sharing agreement with Peoples Gas. 2025 was the first year of this partnership, that it was implemented, representatives from Peoples and People Water and Pittsburgh Water meet on site to define restoration boundaries and allocate cost responsibilities. Hatch facilitates these meetings and is responsible for documenting the outcomes and maintaining related records. This slide features the GIS map maintained by Hatch, which serves as the central repository for all cost-sharing data. Each site involved in cost-sharing agreements is represented as a point within the GIS system, with relevant financial and project details recorded accordingly. The accompanying pie chart illustrates the actual costs associated with the sites under the cost share agreement, providing a clear visual summary of the distribution of expenses. We also maintain a customer complaint layer within the GIS map, which has been a key focus of this year's restoration season. At the request of Pittsburgh Water, Hatch is conducting comprehensive investigations into the reported complaints. These investigations involve direct engagement with the residents, cost estimation, root cause analysis, GIS coordination, and thorough documentation at each site. Maintaining the integrity and accuracy of the complaint layer is essential, and all data regularly updated to reflect the most current information available to Pittsburgh Water. This slide highlights waterline relay work completed by operations during the 2025 restoration season. Now in its second year, operation continues to perform these water relays with final restoration carried out under the restoration contract. For each site, the top photo shows pre-construction conditions for operations work, while the bottom photo captures the completed restoration. Due to the substantial scope and the associated costs, relay expenses are closely tracked to ensure accuracy and accountability. I'll just note that part of the work that we do have, we are incorporating and addressing the city's planned resurfacing that's associated with the NFL draft in the 2026. So next, I'll report on a recent repair work completed on Rising Main 1, which conveys finished water from the Brecken Pump Station into the Highland 1 super system. In February 2025, a leak surfaced on a hillside on Lockway West near Washington Boulevard. Pittsburgh Water contracted with Pure Technologies to conduct a leak determination survey on Rising Mains 1 and 2 in March 2025. The leak detection surveys identified 3 leak locations on Rising Main 1, including one large leak under Washington Boulevard and the adjacent hillside, which is identified as the First Point Location 1, and an additional large leak on Rising Main 2. Given that the large leak location on Rising Main 1 closely coincided with where the water was surfacing, it was one. The plan for rehabilitation of Rising Main 1 was to utilize carbon fiber reinforced polymer, CFRP lining at location 1, as it would be difficult and expensive to replace the traditional repair method. Pittsburgh Water contracted with Structural Preservation Systems to perform the CFRP rehabilitation, who was selected based on prior experience of the successful completion of the Rising Main 4 rehabilitation project as part of the water reliability plan. The 2 additional leak locations on Rising Main 1, leak locations number 2 and number 3, were able to be addressed by traditional pipe replacement methods, as they were located in wooded areas of Highland Park where there was minimal impact to traffic or restoration requirements. In addition to the performing of the pipe replacement work, the 2024 urgent water repair contract was engaged to mobilize the CFRP contractor to assist with the dewatering and to create the upper and lower access points for the CFRP work. A total of 785 linear feet of existing pipe was lined with CFRP, and 93 linear feet 8-inch main was replaced with ductile iron pipe to address these three leaks. Right line on April 30th, 2025, and access points were created on the rising main where they were dewatered. Structural preservation systems mobilized May 14th, 2025, and CFRP rehabilitation was completed by June 4th, 2025. All pipe replacement was completed by August 5th, and the following disinfection was completed on the pipe, and it was placed back into service on August 11th. The engineering team is currently exploring the leak detection for rising main number 2 to more definitively determine the presence of the leak, the location, and its magnitude. So a couple of key pictures here. These two pictures represent the work that was completed at the leak repair number 1, where we utilize CFRP. As the lining requires an epoxy, ventilation of the internal pipe required, as well as dust collection for the surface prep, as well as the power generation. Here we have represented a couple of photographs showing the actual structural integrity tests, the pull tests that are conducted on the individual CFRP wrapping panels. And you can see where they're doing the impregnation of the polymer into the individual panels on the right. Here we're showing the multi-step approach to the use of the CFRP. A first layer is installed. Again, the third picture, you can see the individuals working inside the pipe. God bless them. Second layer of CFRP is put in. So the first layer goes in longitudinal along the length of the pipe. The second goes in circumferential. I can't say it today. Goes around the circumference of the pipe. And that's followed by termination rings that allow where each endpoint of the CFRP with the existing pipe is terminated, and then a final layer is applied. Here is the location for rising main number 2. The existing pipe was a riveted steel 50-inch pipe. The new pipe, we necked down to a 48-inch ductile iron pipe that was installed. And location 3, similarly, showing the work and to allow for future maintenance operations. And that is the completed vision of leak number 3. All right, so moving on to the water reliability plan. I'm pleased to report that the notices for proceeding were issued to the form prime contracts for the Aswell Pump Station, Brecken Pump Station, and Clearwell Bypass Project, what we've always called the ABC project. They were issued on August 25th, 2025. In other ABC updates, Pittsburgh Water is moving forward with Partnership for Work, a local workforce development organization, to implement a pre-apprenticeship program involving multiple organizations to implement a pre-apprenticeship program with cohorts of on-site training. We're excited to move into the construction phase of the project in collaboration with our contractors, consultants, and stakeholders. All meetings that have been conducted to date have been very successful in moving the project forward. The Highland Reservoir Pump Station project continues to move along smoothly, with 4 out of the 7 been installed so far, all the high flow pumps. Startup and commissioning are anticipated during the months of October through December of 2025, with substantial completion anticipated in January 2026 and final completion of the overall project by May 2026. Next, the following engineering projects are currently out for bid. The 2025 Neighborhood Lead Service Line Replacement Contract B, the QA/QC Coordinator bids are due by October 7th. The following construction projects are currently out for bid for construction. The 2025 Neighborhood Lead Service Line Replacement Contract B1 and B2 are due respectively on October 2nd and October 3rd. And the water treatment plant 84-inch diameter line rehabilitation project was just issued for both the general and mechanical contracts as well as the electrical contract. These bids are due both on October 22nd. Finally, the 2024 large diameter sewer rehabilitation projects for bid, and they will be due on October 27th. This concludes my report. Thank you, and I'll turn it back over to the board for any questions.
Thank you. And for the visual aids, which are always incredibly helpful, especially the on-site photos and visuals. Any questions or comments from the board?
Got a red light on now. Yeah, I'm just curious to sort of build a Venn diagram in my head. What's Pittsburgh restoration volume relative to the gas company historically? A lot bigger, about the same? You know, how does the two sort of match up?
I don't believe I'm in a position to be able to ascertain that. We can definitely get that information for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's just sort of I mean, it was great. Appreciate the learning about it. Just gives some idea of if it's kind of maxed out or it can be pushed a little further and stuff like that.
I will definitely consult with staff and have an answer for you.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
Well, I wanted to thank you for focusing on surface restoration. It's one of those abilities of the authority that maybe is less critical than water and water safety and water availability and reliability, but it's what people notice in their neighborhoods. And, you know, I certainly, in my capacity as a public serving official on city council, you know, hear from people when it goes well and when it doesn't go well, mostly when it doesn't go well. And that's and appreciate that, you know, not every Pittsburgh Water, but everyone can save money with those cost sharing agreements and the co-op agreements. And we can get more done for the people who, you know, whether it's a repaving of an asphalt street or maybe their Belgian block or brick street would have taken 50 more years to get replaced because of the cost, now gets replaced because there was a infrastructure project underneath. My question is, when it comes to, and I get this sometimes from residents, when it comes to sidewalk restoration, how do we handle aggregate or other types of more, you know, less standard sidewalks that we're then replacing? Do we replace with concrete? Do we replace with that, you know, maybe more expensive aggregate? Do we bill them for the cost of that, the extra? You know, how do we handle that? Or are we just kind of replacing everything with the standard concrete?
So right within the right of way, we do consult with DOMI if there are different materials. We tend to rely on standard concrete when it's tied into the pours for the street curb as well as the sidewalk. If it goes beyond the actual right of way, then that is something that we either do not get involved with or it's a separate outreach with the contractor.
Okay. Maybe we can take this offline into a separate conversation, but maybe there's an opportunity for a discussion when, you know, it can be noted that it's a pretty good high quality sidewalk, but we have to tear up a block of it, and it's a, you know, it's a different style sidewalk than the standard, allowing the homeowner or the property owner to weigh in on it and to consult rather than a sheer replacement. So I'll take that question offline, but I appreciate the information. And in general, you know, thank you for the update. Anything further? All right.
It's good to see that, you know, after all this time that the Partnership for Work and that apprenticeship program is coming to fruition. We've been talking about that for a long time. So, you know, kudos on that.
Thank you. Thank you, Barry.
Thank you.
We will move on to the Chief Operations and Environmental Compliance Officer report.
I have a little bit of a show and tell over here with some valves in a moment. But first I wanted to update you on two small environmental compliance reports that we are taking care of this month to fulfill some of our permit obligations. The first is our permit renewal application for our Vactor dewatering facility, or the Vactor pit, over at our Howard Street yard. This is being submitted to Elkasan this month. Renewal of this permit will extend our ability to operate our Vactors, which we use for catch basin and sewer cleaning work throughout the city. The second submittal that we are making this month is our annual MS4 report. This is prepared in conjunction with the city. The city, as I've mentioned in the past, is a co-permittee on our MS4 permit, as they share ownership and operating responsibilities for the separate stormwater facilities, specifically those on their property. The annual report that we do submit for MS4 is a required part of our NPDS permit, and it is submitted to DEP to provide an update on all of our separate storm sewer related activities in conjunction with operating and maintaining those, as well as various projects such as a stream restoration project we completed not too long ago on Glass Run and a portion of Chartiers Creek. So this month, though, I did want to focus my report on water operations, and in particular our valves. The valves themselves that we have in our systems really are pretty small pieces of mechanical equipment, and they help connect together all parts of our treatment and distribution system. So whether they're pipes, fire hydrants, our pumps, our tanks, or even the connections to our customers. Pittsburgh Water has over 160,000 small valves that I would say are an inch or smaller. So some of these small valves look like this. These are valves that we use to connect our main line in the street to an actual customer to their service or to your house. There's small valves like this one, corporation stop, which actually are connected in the pipe and they're buried out of sight. And there's other valves like this, which we call curb stops. And these are located generally close to the curb. This is really what defines the public service line from the private service line that goes into the house itself. And these often you may see a small little metal disc or a box in a sidewalk or in a yard area, and that allows somebody to access this little top piece to operate these small valves. So as I said, there's quite a few of those, usually at least 2 of them for every customer that we have. We also, though, operate a number of larger valves. Approximately 19,000 large valves are in our system. These valves are from several inches in diameter up to 7 feet in diameter. I'm not going to lift this one off. Throughout our distribution system. This one's nice and clean because it hasn't been installed yet. Some of these valves, besides ranging in size, almost all of them are out of sight, right? So these are buried under streets. Again, you might see a small cap or a square plate, which allows the access to the top of that nut. But in general, they're buried, although we have a lot of them that are exposed at our treatment plant themselves. Some of the valves stand straight up. Others have to lay on their sides, depending on orientation of them. Some open up and down. We call those gate valves like this one. Others kind of rotate. We have ball valves and butterfly valves that operate there. We have valves that are older than our oldest customer. We also have valves that are being installed today and need to be there for future generations. So I'd say, you know, regardless of size, type, age, position, or location or system, all of these really are critical to the operation of our system when they're called upon. Pittsburgh Water has some dedicated valve crews that focus their daily work on maintaining these valves, and we do have an exercising program in place where we target inspection and operation of 5,000 of these, about a quarter of them every year. The majority of our valves are ready for service and in place and operable. However, with age, as well as we have over 900 miles of water lines, so these valves are scattered everywhere on main streets and alleyways and back lots. We have had some opportunities, as Barry would say, where we found concerns with our valves themselves. We found valves that were not shown on maps, where we didn't realize there was a valve in a certain area. We found ones that were previously broken, either opened or closed or partially opened or closed, but never reported or identified. We found valves that have been buried or paved over by others when paving projects or construction projects happen, and we know there's a valve there, but we can no longer access it. And there's other valves that are newly installed. You know, maybe it's being installed today, but they're not showing on our maps, you know, yet this week because there's some time to make that all happen. These conditions, of course, then have presented challenges to us when the valves are needed for things like emergency isolations, routine maintenance, or even some planned construction projects. In fact, one of the agenda items you're going to have today is a change order under our 2024 valve replacement contract just for that, so that we can take care of a critical sets of valves that we need replaced. Many departments within Pittsburgh Water interact with our valves on a daily basis. Our water treatment team, of course, uses valves to help maintain water production and quality. Our field operations folks use valves for maintenance of our distribution system. Our plumbing team utilizes these valves to help maintain water service to our customers. Customer service and dispatch utilize our valves and rely on them for helping to notify customers of outages that occur. Our engineering team interacts with valves for planning or constructing new capital improvements. We have a GIS team that maintains all of the mapping of our valves themselves. And we also have an asset management team that helps create work orders and manage the work and kind of the documentation around the operation of our valves. Acknowledging the critical nature of our valves and some of these recent lessons learned that Pittsburgh Water's experienced, we are creating a valve learning project. The valve learning project is going to bring together staff, including our frontline workers from all departments, to help discuss our valves and the work processes that surround them. The valve learning project will challenge team members really to think about what an ideal state of valve operation looks like. We all know what it looks like today. We want to understand what is that ideal state or perfect or excellence condition that we can get to. As doing that, we're going to look at, do we need to create new processes or improve current work processes with our valves? And we're going to achieve that through a number of things. We certainly want to look at developing flow charts to help map out not only how individual departments utilize our valves, but how do they get information or turn information over to other departments to interact with the valves themselves. We're going to conduct field observations where we take folks that might not normally be out seeing a valve or how it's inventoried or what it looks like out there to make work observations. And then we'll develop some actions or improvements to help us move closer to that ideal state. Of course, implement and evaluate those to look for further refinements. The valve learning project, I'm happy to report, did start this month. We had a kickoff meeting with many of the representatives of those departments. And I plan to have a workshop held here, probably a couple of them in Q4 of this year to get this work underway. The outcomes of this valve learning project is going to, again, improve our internal processes and help gain some efficiencies to support Pittsburgh Water's mission to provide safe and reliable water services, not just for today, but also for future generations. I'll be providing some additional updates. Maybe I'll bring along a 72-inch valve at some point, big cart. But we'll give you some updates as we get into this to be able to help identify where we've made these improvements and things that the team has identified. Finally, to wrap up here today, I did want to just provide a quick update on our drinking water quality for August. Our laboratory collected 2,217 water samples to perform analysis on them, confirming that we continue to meet and actually exceed all of our water quality criteria for our customers. And then last month, we produced an average of 63 million gallons of water on a daily basis to serve our customers. So that concludes my report. Again, from compliance and ethics side of things as well, if you or any of our contractors or folks have questions, I'm happy to answer those. Thank you.
Thank you. Continuing on with our theme of visual aids. Will, the pressure's on for your report. Well, first I'll take any questions from anyone from the board.
I think I heard you say that the valves can play a role in helping us alert customers to outages. How does that work?
Yeah, so looking at the maps that we have valves located throughout our system. So if we know there's either maybe a leak or a planned maintenance event or a construction project that needs to tie in, we utilize where those valves are to understand, these are the customers that are between valves A and B. And so that's where our dispatch and customer service looks at that, and they send out a robocall is what it's called to notify those customers that, hey, you have a planned event or an emergency to work on it. The challenge can get to be is if those two valves on the map, they get out in the field and one of them isn't working quite right, or maybe it's paved over and they can't find it, they may now need to go to another valve that's a little further away, and that begins to expand that outage area. So by making sure that we understand our valves and the operations condition of them, we can keep those isolation zones as small as possible to make sure when we perform that work, we're impacting the few customers.
Thank you. Good question. Any other questions?
That brings up one. So is there a maintenance schedule for valves?
Yes. So we have that target of about 5,000 valves every year that we're trying to operate. And so there is, I'll say, somewhat of a maintenance schedule. We do, though, also look just for efficiencies. If we're in an area where, maybe there's a project going on or we have a repair going on, those valves or some of those in those intersections, we will count towards that. But correct, yes, we have a team, a couple valve crews, multiples of them, They're out of our Brilliant Yard, and their, daily work is interacting with our valves, doing work orders and mapping out which ones are being exercised. So, yep.
I just want to echo the show and tell is really great. And it's a fascinating part of the work that I hadn't really thought about. So thank you for sharing it and educating.
You could put a 72-incher in the foyer of the new HQ.
It'll be the
a great
the
photo
revolving-
opportunity for people on.
The revolving door that you have to walk through.
I guess as far as water distribution goes, it's pretty much a 0-1 open close Boolean proposition. Is there modulation in here?
Sure. So the majority of our valves are just opened or closed. So valves are often, the majority of them are open, allowing water to flow. We do have some valves that we close for maybe to divide two different pressure zones. So that is kind of a 1-0, an open close event. In our water production side, though, we do often utilize valves where we may modulate them. So we have what's called butterfly valves often that we can kind of turn. They're like a revolving door. And that may help us control flow. So instance, at our filters, we need to filter a certain amount of water to provide to customers, and we may turn that valve opened or closed to adjust the amount of flow that we're treating at any given moment. So, but those are mainly in our treatment side.
And I guess you can kind of parse on manifold. They all obviously contribute to pressure, but I guess you can categorize redundancy for isolation versus manifold pressure regulation. So it'd be interesting to see how this learning process evolves, because it's a huge inventory. I mean, I'm not sure how it compares to chemical plants, but generally you know where they are, and
we generally know where they all are. It seems to be the
spread
one
all over the place.
The one that we're missing in times of need is the one that all of a sudden
Yeah.
is like, where is it? But, we're oftentimes, some of these valves are, 100 years old. They've, alleyways have been changed, curb lines have been moved, pavement has happened or things like that, by others' construction project. And, that time sometimes has allowed a valve to become, we'll say, lost that we need to locate. So we're working through ways to do that all the time, and that's part of this project. So,
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Good questions.
thank you.
Thank you very much. That moves us on to our Chief Executive Officer report.
Well, good morning, members of the board, Pittsburgh Water staff and consultants and members of the public. I don't have props, but even better, I brought some people. So we brought some friends along because this month I am excited that it is a Pittsburgh Water Excellence Awards month. So we have a few awardees. We're going to begin with Tiffany Patton, who is a project controls scheduler within the engineering construction department. And her nomination was submitted by Rachel Beam, our Chief of Engineering and Construction. I believe Tiffany is tuning in on Teams today. She's been a valued member of Pittsburgh Water for 6 years, bringing deep expertise in both finance and project controls. She started her career at Pittsburgh Water within our finance department as a financial analyst, managing capital projects and supporting financial operations within the SAP system. Today, as a project controls scheduler in the engineering department, Tiffany plays a key role in developing and maintaining project schedules and cash flows using our project management system, the eBuilder Trimble system. The board knows how important it is to have those accurate cash flows, because that's informing our capital budgeting and reporting process to make sure that we're budgeting appropriately and using our ratepayer dollars appropriately. Her strong financial background and analytical mindset have improved how we forecast those expenditures and communicate project performance, so we know if we're on track, and if not, how we can identify those areas to improve. Also, she has been instrumental in resolving vendor invoice delays, which again have an impact on budget. So for those of you in the vendor community, please, we want to pay you. Give us those invoices so we can keep our budgets on time and accurate. So thanks to her dedication and problem-solving skills, our teams have better visibility into project performance more than ever before, and her contributions have made a lasting impact. We're really excited to nominate her, or to give her her Excellence Award today. On a more personal note, I've learned that Tiffany has a green thumb. She's a gardener, and she enjoys sightseeing in this wonderful city of ours, and is also a fan of the Cheesecake Factory. I hope that tidbit's true. So maybe I will see her there. Difficult to decide what to eat at Cheesecake Factory. I think it's like a 35-page menu. But congratulations, Tiffany. We're really excited to award you today. Shifting gears, I believe we have both Matt, Jacob, and Ken Thurston in the audience today. Raise a hand, stand up briefly. Don't be shy, guys. Matt is our project manager, and Ken is our technology business relationship manager. They both sit within the technology services group led by Lee Haller, who nominated them for their recognition today. They're both being recognized for their outstanding leadership in implementing our new asset management system known as the Trimble Unity Maintain System. Rolls right off the tongue. But as Frank alluded to, and even in Barry's remarks, the asset management system is a major upgrade to how we manage our infrastructure assets. This was a 2-year project, beginning at our water treatment plant on our vertical assets, and now evolving into our linear assets. And it's going to allow us to proactively maintain tens of thousands of our assets across our water, sewer, and stormwater systems. Their collaboration with our end users and our operations department was really essential. Having that one-to-one relationship and being on call to help troubleshoot has really allowed us to have a successful implementation. I also want to give a hat tip to our operations team for working with them to adopt this new system, and we're not 100% there, but I know we will be with Matt and Ken's leadership. Their technical expertise and commitment were really essential, and it's the operation of our system and making sure that we have the data, whether we know the valve is closed or open, is obviously really crucial for us to provide safe and reliable water services. So on a personal note, Matt is a published author. He published a book with a few others on the Pittsburgh City Steps. Matt, I'm gonna put you on the spot. I think you're working on another book, right? So stay tuned. It's on the parks. Okay, excellent. So check out Matt's book. I think it's available on Amazon, or maybe even better, buy it at a local bookshop. And my friend Ken is an avid baseball fan. He is a Yankees fan, though, which I really can't blame him for that, given the state of Pirates baseball right now. But congratulations to you both. Thanks for coming in today, and thank you for your awesome work. We're going to shift gears to our final awardee, Michael Janicki, who I believe is here. Morning, Michael. Congratulations. Michael was nominated by our Director of Customer Service, Julie Meckling, and he exemplifies what it means to serve with integrity, professionalism, and heart. In nearly 5 years with Pittsburgh Water, Michael has consistently delivered exceptional service to both customers and his colleagues, which is just so essential. He's known for his clear communication, deep knowledge of our customer-facing regulations, and his respectful demeanor. He also plays a vital role in supporting new team members, which within the customer service department, we only have a fair amount of new team members cycling into the organization. And through his training is setting a high standard for customer interactions. His positive attitude and willing to help has made him a trusted and respected member of the contact center. He's living out our core values: stewardship, ethics, and integrity, and equity, and obviously a model for others to follow. Thank you, Michael, and congratulations. I learned that Michael also lives in an old 100-plus-year-old house and is working on some renovations. So kudos for you for taking that on, and that you are an excellent chef. So let me know if you want me to come over. When I'm at the factory, maybe I can have a taste of what you're cooking up, Michael. But thank you for your service to Pittsburgh Water. Really appreciate it. That wraps up my remarks for this morning, but want to congratulate everyone.
Thanks very much. Heartfelt congratulations to all of the honorees today. Tiffany, Matt, Ken, Michael. I just want to say, I know that there are the people who might be on TV representing Pittsburgh Water, or the senior staff, or those who sort of get the attention, or that are seen working in the streets, right? That we think of as the workers at Pittsburgh Water. But to make an organization effective, it takes hundreds of hardworking people like all of you here today, who are honored to make it a strong organization and truly make it effective. And I always, working in municipal government, I know that people say, oh, they are replacing a water line. They're, out there working in the street. They're doing this, they're doing that. The they is you. And people don't always give those behind the scenes the full credit that's deserved. So well deserved. Congratulations again. Anything from board members? Thank you. All right. We will now move on to our next agenda item, which is resolutions. And our first resolution of the day is number 83. Mr. Barka.
Hello again. Resolution number 83 of 2025, approving the resolution to apply for the Pennsylvania Infrastructure Investment Authority for the 2026A Neighborhood Lead Service Line Replacement Project in the amount up to 29 million. And just two quick things to note, this application cutoff is in October, so this resolution is authorizing that submittal in October. And the amount here of up to 29 million, will fund an estimated 770 public and 840 private lead service line replacements.
Thank you. Is there a motion? Again, discussion?
I have a question, and I think you said this, Ed, and it went by me. Is this a loan or a grant?
We won't know until the time of award, but typically it's been both a loan and a grant, but the proration is dependent
Is
on.
what we'll find out.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. Good question. Any other questions? Seeing none, all those in favor of resolution number 83, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Affirmative, motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Resolution number 84, Mr. Stewart.
Morning, members of the board. Resolution number 84 is an approval of a change order to an operating contract for external security officers. The original contract began with this year, which was for $336,490. It also included an extension or potential 3 one-year optional extensions, which would bring that total to $1,407,748 as a not to exceed. So that was the original contract. What we are looking for approval for here is an additional $750,000 to this contract, and that is specifically for our ABC project. So we'd like to have security coverage for that project. That $750,000 is over a 5-year span, so it's averaging about $150,000 a year. That is a not to exceed amount as well.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Casey, just one quick question. So do I understand this is expanding the number of security officers that will be available but dedicated to the ABC project?
Yes, that's correct. So we have internal officers at our water treatment plant. This is asking for an additional 1 full-time at the water treatment plant throughout that project, and the potential to have another one as needed for either coverage at Brecken or if we have multiple gates open during that project.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Just curious, does ABC, in your mind, involve some special risks, or is it just a wider profile to do security on?
Yeah, there's definitely additional risks as we're bringing potentially 50 contractors or more in a day. A lot of additional vehicles, parking, moving components throughout that. But at the same time, a lot of it has to do with visitor management. So we may have an alternate gate open as well as a gate on our west end. So just having coverage at those locations to ensure that we're allowing the appropriate people through. And we have a whole approved contractor approval process to make sure we're vetting them and allowing them in as necessary.
Yeah, significant traffic flow, so to speak.
Yes, it's going to get interesting. So.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All those in favor of resolution 84, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Resolution 84 is approved.
Thank you.
Thank you. Resolution number 85, Mr. King.
Resolution number 85 is a request for the board's approval of an amendment of a professional services agreement under capital for the design of the First Ward Station and appurtenances Phase 2 project to Gannett Fleming Incorporated in the amount of $492,821.79. This amendment covers additional design services, including but not limited to additional permitting, modifications to the pump lift design, enhanced security measures, retaining wall design, and additional subsurface utility exploration.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion? Is there a second? Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of Resolution 85, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Resolution 85 is approved. Resolution 86.
Resolution 86 is a request for the board's approval to award multiple contracts under this project. General contract to Independent Enterprises Incorporated in the amount of $2,280,500 and an electrical contract to Frankel Electric Incorporated in the amount of $493,500. HVAC contract to SSM Industries Incorporated in the amount of $242,000. And finally, the plumbing contract to Independent Enterprises Incorporated in the amount of $227,470. This is for the Brown Hills Road Sewer Pump Station Replacement Project.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of resolution number 86, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Resolution 86 is approved. Resolution 87.
Resolution 87 is a request for the board's approval to award a professional services agreement for construction management and construction inspection services for the 2025 Neighborhood Lead Service Line Replacement Contract B to AECom Technical Services Incorporated in the amount of $3,580,984.42.
Thank you. Is there a motion? Discussion?
Barry, I don't know how long the list is, but can you tell us which neighborhoods this will cover?
Yes. It was kind enough to note various neighborhoods in the city of Pittsburgh. I will be able to get that information
Okay.
for you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of resolution number 87, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Resolution 87 is approved. Resolution number 88.
Resolution number 88 is a request for the board to approve a change order of a capital contract for construction of the 2024 valve replacement contract to Mealy and Sons in the amount of $600,000.
Is there a motion? Discussion?
After the show and tell, I think I understand better why this is necessary. So thank you, Frank.
Thank you.
All those in favor of resolution number 88, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Resolution 88 is approved. And our final resolution of the day, resolution 89.
Resolution number 89 is a request for the board's approval to award capital contracts for construction of the general mechanical contract to Mealy and Sons in the amount of $3,877,000 and electrical contract to Lanco Electric Incorporated in the amount of $2,440,000 for the hydraulic valve replacement program.
Thank you. Is there a motion? Discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor of resolution number 89, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Resolution 89 is approved. Thank you very much. Is there anything further from members of the board? Seeing none, I will take a motion to adjourn. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.